is recorded. Thank you for coming. I appreciate it. I'm gonna go on my computer later to see who came. Thank you for coming. Okay, 1 minute, 25 seconds. Welcome to Victory Yay. Welcome to my live stream. Now today, I have a special lineup. Season 3, rare players, rare cards. These players you don't see much in the game. A lot of them are Season 3 cards. So I have point guard. Raymond Felton. Oklahoma City Thunder. As you see in my thumbnail, Charlotte Bobcats legend. Ray Felton. A shooting guard. Miami Heat. Wayne Ellington. Former University of North Carolina Tar Heel. Wayne Ellington. Thank you for coming. I'm going to check on my computer later, see who came. A small forward. I have Dwayne Bacon. Charlotte Hornets. At power forward, I have Omar Ashik. Season 3 card from Turkey. I think now plays for China. The CBA. And center, a retired player, Scott Pollard. He won a championship with the Boston Celtics. This is from the Easter promo season 3. And he is card art. He's a Cleveland Cavalier. Kyrie Irving Court, Minnesota Timberwolves jerseys, Oklahoma City Thunder jerseys. Let's play against Facebook friends. So I'm hurry up and get into the game. My team is Charlotte Hornets. And he has a Gordon Dragic. So I'm going to autoplay it. Thank you for that 1 heart and thank you for coming. So we have these beautiful neon green Minnesota Timberwolves jerseys. And he has the Elf lineup, Phoenix Suns jerseys, Phoenix Suns court. This should be an easy win. Wayne Ellington. What a one-handed shot. It'd be easy to guard these tiny elves. He has a small ball lineup. Raymond Felton. The reason I did this lineup, Carl Anthony Towns actually dunks on me. Even though he's only 4 feet. He actually dunks on me. Slam dunk. So I'm going on computer to see who came. DTW the Baller, thank you for coming. You said you got 89 overall Kawhi Leonard. Awesome. I think that's a rare card. So thank you for coming. Devin Booker to Gary Harris. Kendall Jenner's boyfriend has the ball again. Taurean Prince. Wow, the Elves are playing really well. Draymond Green with the shot. Now, in Season 3, these cards were not rare. A lot of these cards were silver cards. They were not really rare. Oh, you say that. DTW, the Baller. Yeah, a lot of times the gameplay is kind of the same. So, a lot of times it's the same. Regardless of overall. So Devin Booker with the ball. Draymond Green. The DTW the baller, did you watch the Laker Houston Rockets game? The Houston Rockets tonight lost the game to the LA Lakers, and so now the LA Lakers have won 3 games, and the Houston Rockets only won 1 game. So the Houston Rockets are down 3-1. So it looks like the Lakers and the Clippers are going to play in the Western Conference Finals. Should be a battle of LA. So no surprises here. There's no upsets at all. The better teams in the NBA playoffs in the bubble have won. Wow, and we lose the game. Autoplaying. We actually lose to the Elves. I did not play. Aggressive Dog Gaming, thank you for coming. How are you? And you messaged me last time. You said you want to play against my team. And please add me on Facebook. And Victoria Ye and a picture of nickname card. George the Iceman Gervin. So if you want to play me, add me on Facebook and we'll try to find your team. Sometimes it doesn't work, but good, bro. That's nice to hear. Hope you're well. Yeah, if you add me on Facebook, sometimes it doesn't show up though. So sometimes if you add me on Facebook as the friend, it doesn't always show up on the playing a live stream against you. Or you can make a video together, but sometimes it doesn't show up. So sometimes unfortunately I cannot find your team, but sometimes it shows up. So I find that in the live streams I always end up playing the same teams, the same people over and over again. As Raymond Felton hits that shot, and these are players in season 3. These are not rare cards, but in season 4, since I'm the only one that has these cards, they're pretty rare, and you rarely see them in the game. I don't think there's a Raymond Felton card in the game, a Scott Pollard card in the game, a Wayne Ellington card in the game. There should be a Dwayne Bacon, because he's on the Charlotte Hornets. A lot of these players have retired or out of the NBA, I believe. My opponent has LA Clippers jerseys and Giannis court. Tracy McGrady, T-Mac, with a 3-point with the shot. 3-point shot. Now let's talk a little bit about NBA history, as a lot of these players have retired from the NBA or out of the NBA, have been out of the NBA. So Ray Felton, my point guard. Last year, he actually played in the NBA 2019 for the Oklahoma City Thunder. But right now, he's out of the NBA. He technically is a free agent, but he has not played in the NBA or any other basketball team internationally or anything. He has not played there. He has not played basketball this year. So Raymond Felton, born in 1984, is 36 years old. So he's a little too old to be playing in the NBA now. His height is 6'1". Now, he played at the University of North Carolina. And in 2005, helped UNC, one of the best college basketball programs in the country. He helped them win an NCAA championship in 2005. along with Sean May and Rashard McCants. Two players they are long retired. Now, in 2005 NBA draft, he entered that draft, and he was drafted with the 5th overall pick by the Charlotte Bobcats. Now, Charlotte Bobcats, they no longer exist anymore. They changed their name to the Charlotte Hornets, which is why I picked Charlotte Hornets as my team. So Raymond Felton, one of the best players, one of the best point guards in college basketball in 2005, enters the 2005 NBA draft and is drafted 5th overall. Now, there are really great point guards in the 2005 NBA draft. So I'll name some of them. One of them, of course, is Chris Paul, who now plays for the Oklahoma City Thunder and has a long career. A future Hall of Famer, Chris Paul. Now, the other great point guard from this draft is Deron Williams. Also, a great point guard. He's out of the NBA now. But he is essentially also a Hall of Famer and a multi-year All-Star, just like Chris Paul. So Deron Williams was drafted 3rd overall by the Utah Jazz. And Chris Paul was drafted 4th overall by the New Orleans Hornets. So those 3 great point guards were drafted 3, 4, and 5. Now the top 2 picks in the 2005 NBA draft. LeBron913, thank you for coming. How are you? And Ham Gore, thank you for coming. How are you? Hope you are well. Now the top 2 picks in the 2005 NBA draft. The 1st overall pick is Andrew Bogut from Australia, a center. Andrew Bogut was from Australia but came to the United States to play college basketball to prepare for the NBA. So he played for the University of Utah, the Utah Utes. And he was one of the best college basketball players in 2005. Now, Marvin Williams. Marvin Williams actually would win a championship with Raymond Felton and another player, Sean May. Now, Marvin Williams is he was one of the best high school players in the country, in all of America. He was very hyped up. But he went to that University of North Carolina team, and there's a lot of veterans like Raymond Felton, who was a junior at the time, and Sean May, who was a junior at the time. So Marvin Williams came off the bench. He was their 6th man. So he won a championship along with Raymond Felton that year in 2005. And he was their 6th man, which is pretty amazing. But he was so talented. And Marvin Williams still in the NBA. He now plays for the Milwaukee Bucks. And he is basically Giannis Antetokounmpo's backup power forward. Now, Marvin Williams was supposed to be a star in the NBA, and he did not make any All-Star team. But he has been a really nice, great role player, for sure. For sure. Let me check something on my phone. Okay. So, 2005 NBA draft. talking a little bit more about the 2005 NBA draft, because the University of North Carolina won a championship that year. So many of their players were drafted into the NBA. Raymond Felton, Sean May, Rashad McCants, Marvin Williams. Michael Jordan, thank you for coming. Chauncey Billups as the Bucks' new head coach. I can see that. Chauncey Billups is a very intelligent person. And a couple years ago, the Cleveland Cavaliers wanted to hire him as a general manager. But he was smart enough not to take that job because he knew LeBron James was going to leave Cleveland to coach for them. LeBron's gonna leave Cleveland to sign with the Lakers. So he's a very smart guy. Chauncey Billups, and right now he works for ESPN. He's an analyst, an expert. So I would think that's a pretty good head coach. I don't think he has much assistant coach experience, and I don't think he has much coaching experience though. But he's a Hall of Famer, multi-year All-Star, just like Steve Nash. So that's a very nice choice if he becomes a head coach. And he's very intelligent, so I think that's a good choice. And he can mentor Giannis, of course. Maybe teach him how to shoot threes, as Chauncey Billups shot a lot of threes in his career. He's called Mr. Big Shot, Chauncey Billups. So that's a good choice as the head coach. I would say that's a good choice. Now, of course, like I said before, he doesn't have many experience as a head coach. He's been on TV a lot, working for ESPN. The problem with the Bucks coach is that he doesn't know how to use Giannis in the playoffs. And the Bucks coach was Mike Budenholzer. Yeah, I do agree with that. Yeah, sometimes the coach doesn't know how to use Giannis, or maybe sometimes the Bucks are seen as like a one-man team, and Giannis has to do too much. I believe Giannis has a 2-year contract on his deal, so they don't have to immediately trade him or anything like that. Now, Golden State, they have the second pick overall in the 2020 NBA draft, and so the Golden State Warriors are probably gonna try to offer the second pick for Giannis and some other player, Andrew Wiggins or Draymond Green, to make the salary work. But we'll see what happens with that. By the way, Bucks head coach. I know the Sixers, they have an opening for head coach. Yes, I believe Mike Budenholzer is still the Milwaukee Bucks head coach. So, he's still there. He hasn't been fired yet. Now, Mike Budenholzer, when he was hired as the Bucks head coach, and before that, he was the Atlanta Hawks head coach, and he had a lot of experience, as he was an assistant coach for many years for the San Antonio Spurs. So he was Greg Popovich's assistant coach. The problem with the Bucks is the problem with the Bucks coach is he doesn't know how to use Giannis in the playoffs. Joel Embiid to the Warriors. Yeah, and that's also a possible scenario for Golden State to use the second overall pick to try to get Joel Embiid. And the Sixers, I'll probably take it as well. The second overall pick. Who would they draft? I don't know. But let's say they draft LaMelo Ball. And I've heard LaMelo is a great shooter. But I don't know if he's overhyped or not. Or another player they could draft. For sure. So that's also a possibility. Joel Embiid. If he's healthy, he's one of the best centers in the NBA. But we'll see. As Bogdanovich makes a mid-range shot. My opponent is a legendary player, Will Chamberlain. Now, in the 2005 University of North Carolina, UNC Tar Heels, they win the championship. Now let's look at that team a little bit more. The 2004-2005 NCAA champions, University of North Carolina Tar Heels. They have many players that make it to the NBA. Of course, Raymond Felton, who's my point guard right now. They have Marvin Williams, Rashad McCants, Sean May, and they have also lesser known players that also make it to the NBA, like David Noel, who played a little bit for the Milwaukee Bucks. And they have another player that made it to the NBA, only played a little bit for the Cleveland Cavaliers, but Jawad Williams. He played overseas for many teams, many international teams. Also another player. They also have many other players. Rashawn Terry. He did not make it to the NBA, but was drafted by the Orlando Magic. The second pick, 44th overall in the 2007 NBA draft. But he unfortunately has not played an NBA game. Another player called Jackie Manuel. He was undrafted, but he played in the D League a lot. Now another player, Wes Miller. He never made it to the NBA, but he became a head coach. He is now the head coach of the University of North Carolina, Greensboro. And they play in the Southern Conference. The UNC Greensboro Spartans. You don't hear much about them, these teams. But in 2017, 2018, they made it to the NCAA first round. So pretty cool. This is a very good team, the North Carolina Tar Heels, 2005. Our head coach is the legendary Roy Williams, who's now, I think, won 2 championships with UNC. Yes, he won 2 championships. And I have his bio right here, so I'm going to check really quickly. Looks like he's won actually 3 championships with the University of North Carolina Tar Heels. And he previously was the Kansas Jayhawks head coach, but they did not win a championship. He did not win a championship with Kansas, but he was a second place runner-up one year. Let me just look up those North Carolina teams. As I talked a lot about 2004, 2005 Tar Heels. Let's look at 2008, 2009 Tar Heels. And their best player, I believe, is Tyler Hansbrough. And I'll go back and check my live stream to see if anybody came. Hold on a second. I'm going to autoplay and I'll play the game. Sports Fan Center, thank you for coming. I appreciate the support. I appreciate your support. Now we're going to play this game. And I'm going to talk a little bit more about the University of North Carolina. Oh, yes, and my shooting guard is Wayne Ellington. I have a Wayne Ellington card, and he, in 2008, 2009, he is part of that national championship team. In fact, he was the most valuable player, the MVP of that championship game. So I basically have 2 North Carolina Tar Heels in my backcourt, Raymond Felton and Wayne Ellington. Wayne Ellington right now has the ball, and I'm going to dunk with him. I'll play a little bit. Now, the best player in the UNC at the time was Tyler Hansbrough. But there are also a lot of great players on this team. Most notably now is probably Danny Green. Danny Green, who now plays for the LA Lakers. And has played for the Spurs and the Toronto Raptors. And has won championships with the Spurs and the Raptors. Some other players that you might remember, Ty Lawson, that has played for Denver Nuggets. Tyler Zeller, who has played, I believe, for the Charlotte Hornets and other teams. And Larry Drew, who has played a little bit for Larry Drew II, who has played a little bit for the Miami Heat. So quite interesting. These are very deep teams, I believe. Why do I call it deep? Because if your team, after many years, you go back and look at the college teams, if you can have many players that made it to the NBA, that's pretty impressive. Now, in 2016, 2017, Roy Williams and UNC wins the championship again. And let's list some of the players. Theo Pinson, who I know is in the NBA. I think he plays for the Brooklyn Nets. And then Joel Berry II. I think played in the NBA a little bit, but I don't think he's any longer in the NBA. Joel Berry II was the most valuable player. Kennedy Meeks, I know, played really well in that championship run. I think he was in the NBA a little bit, but no longer is in the NBA. And the rest, Luke May, Justin Jackson. Justin Jackson, I think, plays for the Dallas Mavericks. So he's still in the NBA. Luke May. Luke May was undrafted. It looks like he played in the G League, Wisconsin Herd. for the this is the G League for the Milwaukee Bucks, and then he went overseas, went to Italy, but it looks like I forgot about him, but it looks like he did not make it to the NBA, which is kind of sad. Hopefully one day he makes it to the NBA. He's still young. He's 23 years old. Anthony Davis would have shot the brow. Devin Booker layup makes that shot. So yeah, of course, University of North Carolina is most famous for Michael Jordan, James Worthy, and Dean Smith, or legendary head coach Dean Smith, who coached Michael Jordan at UNC Tar Heels. And if you look at I love their colors, University light blue colors. I think it's called powder blue. And if you look at their jerseys, they have a Jumpman logo, and that is the Jordan Jumpman logo, number 23. My opponent is 108 overall, Kemba Walker. So let's talk a little bit more about the other players I have. I have a Wayne Ellington, as I talked about a little bit. Is Wayne Ellington So Wayne Ellington is actually still in the NBA. He's played for multiple teams. So in 2019, he signed with New York Knicks, so he's a New York Knick currently right now. Of course, the New York Knicks, a really bad team this year. And they did not participate in the bubble. Because they're a bad team. The bad teams were not able to participate in the bubble. So for New York, he played 36 games, started only one game, averaged 5.1 points. 5 points a game. Pretty good. As he's been in the NBA for such a long time now. He's been in the NBA since 2009. So that's pretty long. 10 years. If you count 2020, 11 years almost. So that's pretty cool. Now, like I said before, Wayne Ellington, along with Tyler Hansbrough, helped UNC win another championship in 2009, another NCAA championship, and then he had an incredible game in the national championship game. So he was the NCAA Final Four most outstanding player, over Tyler Hansbrough even, who was the best player on that team. Now, he enters the NBA draft in 2009. He is the 28th overall pick. So he was drafted in the first round, 28th overall, by the Minnesota Timberwolves. And then he has played for multiple teams. He's a veteran player now. And I have Minnesota Timberwolves jerseys. So that's fit right in. Wayne Ellington, his first team was a Minnesota Timberwolf. And for a player, sort of a role player, bench player, the fact that he's played multiple seasons in the NBA, you don't hear much about him, but the fact is, he's had a very long career, which is quite impressive. For sure. Quite impressive. Okay, let's play another game. 2009 NBA draft. Since we're talking about Wayne Ellington, let's talk about some of the top stars in the 2009 NBA draft. The first overall pick was Blake Griffin. The third overall pick was James Harden. The seventh overall pick was Stephen Curry. The ninth overall pick was DeMar DeRozan. So this draft is actually quite good, quite deep. James Harden, Steph Curry, dominating the NBA. Still the top stars in the NBA. DeMar DeRozan is also quite good. Blake Griffin's also quite good. So the 2009 NBA draft, pretty good draft. Pretty good for sure. And going into this draft, you probably were not expecting Curry and James Harden to win the MVP, but both have won the MVP. So there's two MVPs here in this draft. Harden has won the MVP once, and Stephen Curry has won it twice, which is pretty amazing for a draft. Pretty amazing. There's also Drew Holiday in this draft. Like I said before, Wayne Ellington, he has played for multiple teams. First played for the Minnesota Timberwolves, then played for the Memphis Grizzlies, Cleveland Cavaliers, Dallas Mavericks, Los Angeles Lakers, Brooklyn Nets, Miami Heat, Detroit Pistons, and now New York Knicks. So he has a very long career. He should be quite proud. Now, I know not a lot of people know about him, and players like him, so that's why I made this gameplay. I'm happy to make this gameplay. Now, let's talk about our small forward, and his small forward is Dwayne Bacon. Dwayne Bacon currently plays for the Charlotte Hornets, and he's the youngest player on our team. So I have three players that still play in the NBA. Wayne Ellington, shooting guard and small forward. Dwayne Bacon, who's only 25 years old. And then the other, of course, is yeah, pretty much those two, right? Raymond Felton hasn't played in the NBA this season. So, just pretty much those two players. Now, Dwayne Bacon was drafted in the 2017 NBA draft. He was the 40th overall pick. And he's still playing the NBA, which is quite good. Now, I'm going to play against Intelligent Giant. He makes really creative videos. And he's in my league, and I'm going to play him a little bit. So this is my normal lineup, my multi-year lineup. And he has a Jimmy Butler, LeBron James from other promos. So we're going to play him for one game. He has Philadelphia 76ers, Wells Fargo Center Court. He has Toronto Raptors jerseys. I have Brooklyn Nets jerseys. So Mike Bibby with a shot. Nice mid-range shot. We actually score. He has a Gary Payton as well. Always NBA content. Thank you for coming. Hello, how are you? I appreciate your support. Mike Bibby with the ball. Gives the bam. And bam, what a slam dunk. What a slam dunk. My opponent, GP Gary Payton, with the ball. Mike Bibby with the ball. He has a headband. Now, Intelligent Giant makes very creative videos about artistic videos. So go check out his channel. And also go check out Always NBA Content videos. He also makes great videos. Very creative as well. Very nice NBA mixes. Mike Bibby with a mid-range shot. Nice mid-range game. For sure. Nice mid-range game. Now we're going to try to... Couple seconds left playing against Intelligent Giants team. He steals the ball, but he has a Joker. The Joker. Nikola Jokic. Jimmy Butler, Jimmy Buckets, Jimmy Neutron. With the ball. Gary Payton, GP, the glove, makes the shot. Jaten Joshi, hello, thank you for coming. I appreciate your support. It looks like India, a very beautiful country, India. It's 11:58 a.m. in India right now. So I hope you have a great afternoon. Right now in my country, we actually win this quarter. It is 11:29 p.m. at night, and I'm from United States and California. So we're play against Little Legend. We're done there. So we're gonna play against some more Facebook friends. We have our special lineup. My opponent has a shooting guard, Fred VanVleet, and a Chris Paul. No problem. It says midday here. Yeah. I Google searched it and it says 11:58 a.m. Now it's 12 p.m. It'll be afternoon. I hope you have a great day. Hope you have a great day. Did you watch Mr. Fiction's videos? Mr. Fiction makes great NBA Live mobile videos, and he is also from India. Mr. Fiction. I see there's 4 people here. Y'all make basketball. Y'all love basketball. Love make basketball videos. So go check out each other's channels. Check out Jatin Joshi's YouTube channel. And Always NBA Content. His YouTube channel makes great NBA Live mobile. He makes great NBA mixes. And Sports Fan Center, Michael Jordan. They make great NBA mixes. And Jachin Joshi, what is your favorite basketball team? Who's your favorite player? I'm always curious. Now, Dwayne Bacon, he's my small forward on this lineup. This lineup is basically season 3 cards, which are quite rare. You don't get to see many of these players like Raymond Felton, um, Omar Sheik. Now, Dwayne Bacon, he is 6'6". He's 25 years old. Played at the Florida State University, FSU. He was the second pick, and he was in the 2017 NBA draft. He was drafted in the second round, 40th overall. He's playing for the Charlotte Hornets. Let's look at some of his stats. I think he's a bench player, role player. He was in rookie season averaged 3 points a game. Second season averaged 7 points a game. This season he played in 39 games, started 11 games, averaged 5 points a game. So, sort of, he's still young, but he's in sort of a bench player. Now, and in high school, he was a McDonald's All-American, which means that he was one of the best high school players in the country. So that's how I remember him. Also, his last name is Bacon, so definitely stands out because his last name, Dwayne Bacon. Of course, it's Michael Jordan. I have a 92 overall team. That's a pretty good team. 92 overall. Let's play against another opponent. Your favorite basketball player, you say, is Michael Jordan. That's awesome to hear. And of course, that's many people's favorite basketball player. We're in the Hoop Dome court. You get this court from the Live Pass. It's from Canada. The real life court is from Canada. My favorite basketball player is many different people. I don't have one necessarily, but I love Steve Francis. He's an old school player that played in the 2000s. He played with Yao Ming, Houston Rockets, and I thought he was a very exciting player to watch play. Great dunker, Steve Francis. And then my other favorite player is probably Adam Morrison. Played for the Charlotte Bobcats and a little bit for the Lakers. And he's retired now. But when he played for Gonzaga University, he was one of the best players on that team. By the way, I was just looking at Scott Pollard, my center card. He has a lot of tattoos. And if you look at that, his arm, my center, the bald one, I believe he's number 31. He actually has a lot of tattoos in his arms. It's very hard to see, but you can see if you look at it closely. He got the ball right now, rebounded the ball. He actually has tattoos in his arms. It looks a little bit green, a little bit of red, a little bit blue color. Pretty cool that they added that. He's a season 3 card, so I don't think anybody has that card from the Easter promo. Also notice that the EA added some extra features to certain players. Lonzo Ball, they added tattoos to his arms. And then Aaron Gordon, they gave him a black headband and a sleeve on his arm. So they do add certain features to the players. Definitely, they do. Okay, now let's talk about my power forward. My power forward in this lineup, of course, is just like rare players from season 3. I call them rare because you don't really see them much in the game. especially these players. In Season 3, their cards were like silver cards, so they weren't rare then. Omar Sheik, my power forward, he's from Turkey, the country of Turkey. He's no longer in the NBA. But last season, Season 3, there was like a James Harden promo of players he played with. In his first seasons with the Houston Rockets. And one of the players he played with was Omar Sheik. Omar Sheik last played for the Chicago Bulls. He's 7 feet tall. He's 34 years old. Let's look his bio a little bit more. So, he was, in 2018, the 36th overall pick in the second round. He was drafted by the Portland Trail Blazers, but he was traded by the Portland Trail Blazers immediately to the Chicago Bulls. So his first team was the Chicago Bulls. He played for the Chicago Bulls in 2010, 2012. In 2012, he signed with the Houston Rockets the same time that Jeremy Lin Sanity was happening in New York. And then Jeremy Lin signed with the Houston Rockets. And then later, the Houston Rockets, during the summer, traded for James Harden, who was a sixth man, of course, from Oklahoma City. And I also believe that was the year, 2012, that the Oklahoma City Thunder lost in the NBA Finals to the Miami Heat. LeBron James, Dwayne Wade, Chris Bosh. And then James Harden goes to the Olympics in London in 2012, along with Kevin Durant and I believe Russell Westbrook. Anyways, I believe he plays in the Olympics. Then he gets traded to the Houston Rockets. And their Houston Rockets, their center would be Omar Sheik. And if you look at his stats, he started 82 games that year, averaged 10 points a game, and be in Houston for 2 seasons. Then Omar Sheik was traded to the New Orleans Pelicans, and he'll play there for 3 seasons. Actually, 4 seasons, and then he would be traded again to the Chicago Bulls. It looks like he had a little bit of injuries, but then he was later waived by the Chicago Bulls. It looks like he's retired. Yeah, it looks like he's retired. I thought he maybe went to play. Looks like he won this game. Yeah, it looks like Omar Sheik went. I thought he will go to like China or someplace in Europe to play more basketball, but it looks like he did not. Thank you for coming, InfoSpot 411. Thank you for coming. I appreciate your support. It was because I have a list of things I'm planning to say during my live stream. I'm reading about Omar Sheik. But thank you for your support for coming. The Omar Sheik, only 34 years old, he's retired. It looks like he has some injuries. Inflammatory arthritis. when the Chicago Bulls waived him. He's quite young. Surprising. That's my power forward. And then James Harden promo. They gave us that card, season 3. Other Houston Rockets players in that tribute to James Harden. Now for my center, we have Scott Pollard. Since retired a long time ago now. It's either Scott Pollard or Scott Pollard, but I think it's pronounced Scott Pollard. And I watched him play a little bit. But I haven't watched his whole career because I'm quite young. Now Scott Pollard won one NBA championship in 2008. 2008 he was a Boston Celtic, and he won an NBA championship along with Paul Pierce, Kevin Garnett, Ray Allen. And it looks like he retired that year as well. So he retired in 2008. So it's been a long time he's been retired. Time goes by quite fast. So he's been retired for 12 years. That seems like so long ago. So it's been 12 years since the Boston Celtics won an NBA championship. Time goes by quite fast. I was logged out of the game, trying to log back into the game. So Scott Pollard, 45 years old right now, from Murray, Utah. It looks like he is Mormon. So he is a part of the Church of Latter-day Saints. His father is Pure Pollard. And his father played for the University of Utah. So I never knew that. Just reading his bio. In high school, he played at a high school in San Diego, and then moved to Washington, the state of Washington, and then he attended University of Kansas. So he played for the Kansas Jayhawks from 1993 to 1997. While playing NCAA basketball, Pollard finished 6th in Jayhawks history among free throw shooters, 4th in rebounds, and 2nd in shot blocks. He's 6'11". Very tall player. Let's try to log back into the game. We'll try to log back into the game and before I start talking. Okay, I logged back into the game, so I'm going to go and continue playing against Facebook friends. And then we're going to talk about Scott Pollard some more. Now it's been 1 hour live streaming, and I'm going to go till my phone battery ends. Scott Pollard, this card I think is from the Easter or the St. Patrick's Day promo. And he has a Cleveland Cavalier jersey as he played for the Cleveland Cavaliers. So Chris Paul drives in, layup shot. Chris Paul, Oklahoma City Thunder jerseys. the team he plays for right now. And we're going to talk more about Scott Pollard. So in 1997 NBA draft, he was drafted by Detroit Pistons with the 19th overall pick, which is pretty high. So Detroit Pistons, he plays there for only one season. Only averages 2.7 points a game. So he doesn't, offensively, he does not play well. It looks like he was traded by the Detroit Pistons to the Atlanta Hawks for Christian Laettner, college basketball legend Christian Laettner, Duke University. But he was waived by the Hawks and never played for them. Pollard was waived by the Hawks. Never played for them. Then he was traded to the Then he played for the Sacramento Kings. And he played there for multiple seasons. 5 seasons with the Sacramento Kings. And that's when I first started watching the NBA and seeing him. The Kings were an up-and-coming team. And then eventually became a great team. Vlade Divac, Chris Webber, Mike Bibby. Later, he would play for the Indiana Pacers. 3 seasons with the Pacers. Then for 1 season, he signed a 1-year contract with Cleveland Cavaliers. In that year, 2007, LeBron James, they made it to the NBA Finals. Pollard, 2007 was signed to the Boston Celtics when they have Kevin Garnett, the big three, Kevin Garnett, Paul Pierce, and those Ray Allen. He wore number 66. And that's when he won a championship in 2008. And he looks like he retired after that. It looks like he's done some announcing and a commentary for some television stations with the Boston Celtics. And he's also worked for NBA TV in 2009. And he also, in 2014, joined the Indiana Pacers radio crew. And fun fact, it looks like he also, if you remember Clifford Robinson, who passed away, he was a contestant of Survivor. And in 2016, Scott Pollard also was a contestant on Survivor. Survivor, a show on CBS. This Survivor, I think they went to Cambodia. So pretty cool. So his overall career, he played in 506 games, started 99 games, averaged 4.4 points a game. Pretty good career. Now let's look at the draft that he was in, 1997 NBA draft. I love looking at old school drafts. Old school drafts, I love watching them. Love talking about him. So 1997 NBA draft, the best player was Tim Duncan, San Antonio Spurs legend. He was the first overall pick by the San Antonio Spurs. Now the second best player in that draft, drafted 9th overall, was Tracy McGrady, T-Mac, directly out of high school, drafted by the Toronto Raptors. And those two are now in the Hall of Fame. And then the third best player, it looks like, is Chauncey Billups, drafted by the Boston Celtics with the 3rd overall pick. And he's probably going to be in the Hall of Fame as well. Chauncey Billups. Hello, DTW the Baller. Thank you for coming back. Yeah, the live stream, I'm still live streaming. I basically just finished talking about Scott Pollard. So Scott Pollard was the 19th overall pick in the 1997 NBA draft. Detroit Pistons. And he played for the University of Kansas Jayhawks. Is there any other interesting player in this draft? Not much players stand out in this draft. You would call this probably a bad draft or even a weak draft. But there's still 2 Hall of Famers, possibly 3 Hall of Famers with Chauncey Billups. A lot of these players are like, at best, a lot of them are role players. Just to name a couple. Antonio Daniels, Ron Mercer, Tim Thomas, Adonal Foyle, Austin Crozier, Derek Anderson, Maurice Taylor, Brevin Knight, Bobby Jackson, the 6th man for the Sacramento Kings, Anthony Parker, who will play international seas basketball a lot, but will eventually help LeBron James, young LeBron James, make it to the NBA Finals in 2007. Brevin Knight, a point guard, who will play for the Charlotte Bobcats. So a lot of nice players there, but mostly role players. Peja, Dragic, Drobnik. I remember him because he played for the Clippers. It's autoplay. All right, so interesting draft. Oh, and then the second round, there's a player that's quite famous now. Now works for well, I don't think he works for them, but he's on TNT and Fox News and ESPN a lot for interviews. And it's Stephen Jackson, Captain Jack, played for the Golden State Warriors. We believe Golden State Warriors when they upset Dirk Nowitzki and Dallas Mavericks. So he was the 42nd overall pick in this draft. Drafted by the Phoenix Suns. But then I think he'll get waived by them. Waived by the Suns, and then eventually made it to the NBA. With the New Jersey Nets. He also won a championship with the San Antonio Spurs in 2002-2003. You think Kobe White should go to the Bucks? Kobe White. But he's quite a very young and talented player. Kobe White is. The Chicago Bulls drafted him. He was their lottery pick. So, who would you trade for? Who will the Bucks give for Kobe White? I'm gonna go look up Kobe White's bio as I finish talking about these players. I remember early on in the season, Kobe White had like some amazing games and broke some records. Broke Michael Jordan's record of something like that. Like most threes or something, or either a rookie or a Chicago Bull. I forget. But early on in the season, we were talking about him a lot. I believe his hair is like, he has a little bit of afro or natural black hair. So for Chicago Bulls, he's number 0. He's only 20 years old. He was born in 2000. So he's very young. He was the 7th overall pick in the 2019 NBA draft. Of course, 2019 NBA draft. I'm going to change the jerseys right now really quickly, as we've seen a lot of the Minnesota Timberwolves jerseys. So I'm going to do Oklahoma City Thunder Native American jerseys. And then I'm going to continue playing against Facebook friends. So 2019 NBA draft, of course. The stars, Zion Williamson, John Morant, and Kobe White, 7th overall pick in this draft. Eric Bledsoe and a draft pick for Kobe White and Sana Tornaski. Speaking of Kobe White, this opponent has all Chicago Bulls players and cards. So Kobe White will be playing against Kobe White. So that's quite fun. Eric Bledsoe and a draft pick for Kobe White and another player. If I'm Chicago Bulls, though, I would not trade Kobe White for Eric Bledsoe. I don't think Eric Bledsoe's that good. And I think he always plays sort of poorly. So I'm a little bit disappointed in Eric Bledsoe. I expected Eric Bledsoe to be an all-star player. And he has not made the all-star team yet. And offensively, I think he's playing quite poorly offensively. So I believe the Bucks, though. I believe the Milwaukee Bucks, their draft pick, I think, is they're the best team in the NBA record-wise. So I don't think their draft pick is very high. But I'll check the 2020 NBA draft pick. Are they number 30? So actually, if you have the best overall team record, like the Milwaukee Bucks did, they're the best team overall in the regular season. You usually have the 30 overall pick, which is in the first round, the 30 overall pick. Usually those players are like role players. They're not stars. But sometimes you can find a hidden gem, like a Tony Parker or something like that. But it looks like the Boston Celtics own the Milwaukee Bucks pick. Looks like the Milwaukee Bucks traded it to the Boston Celtics. The Boston Celtics, they own the 30 overall pick. Now the Milwaukee Bucks actually have the 24th overall pick. And this was from Indiana, the Indiana Pacers. So that's interesting. So maybe you trade the 24th overall pick. It's played really well for me. So I'll turn that down. Chicago Bulls, let's look at their draft pick. They have the 4th overall pick in the 2020 NBA draft. Kobe White is like Ja. He's athletic. Won't dunk over people, but he's a great shooter. The Bucks should trade Eric Bledsoe and Dante DiVincenzo for a higher draft pick. And that's a good possibility for sure that they might try to trade. Because the Bucks need to find a way, of course. I agree with you in that. The Bucks need to find a way to help Giannis if they're going to keep Giannis. So if they get Kobe White, that'll be great. That'll be great. But I don't know if Chicago Bulls will try to will give him Kobe White. Mr. Logix, hi. Thank you for coming. I appreciate your support. How are you doing? The Chicago Bulls, they have fourth overall pick in terms of their record or losing record. So fourth overall pick, maybe LaMelo Ball is there. Maybe if the Charlotte Hornets don't select LaMelo Ball, maybe he's there. If I'm Chicago Bulls, I would definitely draft LaMelo Ball if he's there. And then in that case, DWTY, the baller. In that case, I would trade Kobe White, as you said, to the Milwaukee Bucks in that scenario. If you have LaMelo Ball or someone like that. Bucks need a guard. Bucks need a guard who won't turn over the ball. Yeah. And yeah, so I would say Kobe White is definitely a huge improvement over Eric Bledsoe. So I have 15% on my phone. Mr. Logic, you say your team got to 109 overall, no money spent. Congratulations, and it's an awesome job. Awesome job. That's probably a lot of grinding. So congratulations to you. I think my team's like a 106 overall. And I don't really care about overall too much, but I don't play the game as much. But it's an amazing job to you, Mr. Logix. Yeah, and the Bucks need to find a way, of course, to try to improve their team if they're trying to keep Giannis. Now there's a lot of different mock drafts, but one of my favorite mock drafts is The Ringer, created by Bill Simmons, who used to work for ESPN, and he has a great website called The Ringer, and they have nice mock drafts. A person that works for Ben Simmons is Kevin O'Connor, and he has a great mock draft where they kind of tell you about the new players that are coming to the NBA. So now we know a lot about LaMelo Ball and Anthony Edwards, but there's a lot of different players in this draft, lesser known players. Like Devin Vassell from Florida State University. Like Denny Adivaja from Israel, Tel Aviv. So a lot of different players. Bucks need to put Middleton as point guard. And I only started playing since March. Congratulations, Mr. Logix. That's an awesome job. Bucks need to put Chris Middleton point guard. You said that last time, and I thought that's a pretty good idea. Every time he has the ball, it's unpredictable because he's a 50, 40, 90 club member. He can effectively shoot from everywhere. I agree with you, and is Chris Middleton's passing skills really good? I don't get to watch Bucks games much. Is he a good passer? His ball handling is good. Now he's 6'7", which is pretty tall for a point guard. But you see Luka Doncic is a point guard. You see Ben Simmons is a point guard, so it could definitely work. I also said before, Giannis is, of course, a great passer. You can even have him as point guard, Giannis. No, I think a lot of people, ESPN experts and everything, they believe that the Bucks problem is that Giannis doesn't have another star to play with. But Chris Middleton is not, even though he's an all-star, it's not good enough. He's sort of like a borderline all-star. Even though he's an all-star, they think he's not good enough to play with Giannis. Like, he needs better players. So, that's what they'll argue. And, of course, the media, they kind of favor the LA Lakers and the Golden State Warriors and bigger market teams. And Milwaukee's like a small market team. So, I think they also would love to see Giannis go to a large market team like Golden State, like the Lakers, things like that. 50 field goal percentage, 40 three-point shot percentage, 90 free throw. Yes, he's a great passer and ball handler, and he's good at defense. ESPN is wrong for once. Look at the Game 5 loss. Game 5 loss, he lost because Giannis wasn't in the game. He had all the pressure. And I watched that Game 5, and I agree with you. Game 5, Chris Middleton played really well. And because Giannis was injured, Chris Middleton gave it his all and played with a lot of heart. And they won that game. A very hard-fought game. And every player was exhausted in that game. It went to overtime. And Chris Middleton hit some big shots. Yeah, this is LeBron James, a 121 dunking. So, yeah, I agree with you. I like Chris Middleton for sure. And I see him sort of as an underdog player. Like, people don't give him enough credit for what he's done in the NBA. In fact, he was a second-round pick in 2012. He was a 39th overall pick. And the fact is that he was able to make the All-Star team. Is pretty amazing for a second-round pick. Most second-rounders, they don't get to play in the NBA for that long before they're out of the NBA. So I'm very happy that Chris Middleton has done so much in the NBA. Happy for him. Giannis doesn't need to hold the ball. If Chris Middleton holds the ball more, not more shots, it gives the opposing team two people to worry about. That's definitely a great analysis from you. And I agree. I would love to see them play Chris Middleton at point guard. And there's also, he's quite tall as well. He's going to be a big point guard. That'll be interesting if he changes his position. Now, Chris Middleton, he actually makes more money than Giannis on the team. Chris Middleton makes $30.6 million a year. And I said before in another live stream, he actually makes more than Giannis. Even though Giannis is like a two-time MVP, he actually makes more money than him, which is quite surprising. Yes, Chris Middleton makes $30.6 million a year, and Giannis makes $25.8 million a year. So Chris Middleton is actually the highest paid player on the Milwaukee Bucks, which might surprise certain people. Now, he was a second rounder. He was drafted by the Detroit Pistons. Played 27 games for them and averaged 6.1 points his rookie year and his long season with the Pistons. And then he was traded along with Brandon Knight to the Milwaukee Bucks in exchange for Brandon Jennings, if you remember that, in 2013. Brandon Jennings was a pretty good player with the Milwaukee Bucks back then. So yes, he's been in Milwaukee for a long time. And yeah, when Giannis, if he resigns, he'll probably make much more than Chris Middleton, of course. Yeah, Chris Middleton, 2019, he signed a 5-year, $178 million contract with the Bucks. Looks like his career high is 51 points. So now he, at 29 years old, born in 1991, he is a two-time All-Star. Pretty good for a second-round pick. Played at University of Texas A&M. Brandon Jennings is my dad's favorite player. Now, Brandon Jennings, he was one of the top high school players in the country, McDonald's All-American. And when he went to the draft, he was the same draft class as Steph Curry. Brandon Jennings is only 30 years old, looking at his bio. He's quite young, and he could still be in the NBA. Last play for the Milwaukee Bucks was 2018. Yeah, so 2009 NBA draft. He was a 10th overall pick, Brandon Jennings. And Curry was a 7th overall pick. So he's part of that 2009 draft class. James Harden was 3rd overall pick in that draft. If anybody remembers Brandon Jennings. Yeah, I think he got injured. He has his injuries as well. I think Brandon Jennings' first season in the NBA, his first game in the NBA, I think he scored like 51 points or something like that. No, it wasn't in first game, but in November 14, 2009, his 7th NBA game, Brandon Jennings scored 55 points in a win over Golden State. And so he actually scored 55 points over a rookie, Steph Curry. They're both rookies. They were both rookies at the time. So Brandon Jennings, playing against Curry, he scored 55 points. So he is a pretty good player. But over the years, and he has his injuries as well. Over the years, he's declined, and obviously not the best player over time. He's played in China and other teams in Europe. When he last played for the Milwaukee Bucks in 2018, he's actually had to sign a 10-day contract. So he's definitely declined a lot over the years. By the way, DWT the Baller, is your favorite team the Milwaukee Bucks? You say your dad's a favorite player is Brandon Jennings. I got 1% on my phone, so my phone's about to end. Thank you for coming. I appreciate your support. Thank you, DTW the Baller. Thank you very much. I'm still going to play it to the end, but thank you very much. Have a great day. I'll play till 1% to end, but he said no, he only likes players, not teams.